Good evening. If I could ask everyone to please make their way to their seats, please. If everyone will begin making their way to their seats, we will begin the program shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Dothan Business Hall of Fame's 6th annual banquet and induction ceremony. My name is Forrest Register, and as chairman of the Dothan Area Chamber, I will be serving as your master of ceremonies this evening. At this time, I will invite Delvin McKay, chamber board member, and also pastor of Greater Shiloh Baptist Church in Headland, Alabama, forward for our invocation. Delvin?
Let us pray together. Eternal God, our Father, how blessed we are to be able to gather in this place tonight. For it is you, God, who gives innovation and insight to the inventor, passion and patience to the educator, and drive and ambition to the entrepreneur. So God, as we look across this room tonight, we can see the examples of your excellent goodness. For you said in your word, God, if we would acknowledge you in all of our ways, you would direct our paths. And so, God, I thank you for those that are here tonight who trust you enough to direct their paths. So, Lord, we thank you for this gathering, and we give you praise, we give you glory. We bless these honorees tonight. To serve this present age is our calling to fulfill. Thank you for the food that has been prepared for the nourishment of our bodies. It's in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Delvic. At this time, please continue forth with your dinner and your social time, and our program will begin about 7:30. Thank you. Good evening again, everyone. I hope everyone had a delightful dinner, and we have such an exciting evening planned tonight. Not only do we have two well-deserving inductees this evening, but we also want to take a moment to pay a little honor to our past Hall of Fame laureates. So if I could turn your attention to our two video monitors, we'll cue up a video of all the past Hall of Fame laureates. Welcome again. The Dothan Business Hall of Fame was founded in May 2011 as a collaboration between the Dothan Area Chamber of Commerce and the Dothan Area Young Professionals. The purpose of the Dothan Business Hall of Fame is to recognize the local business leaders who have demonstrated free enterprise and entrepreneurism, and also who have demonstrated civic leadership, philanthropy, and humanitarianism towards their fellow citizens. The plaques are on prominent display within the Dothan Area Chamber of Commerce, where they can be viewed by chamber members, industrial prospects, as well as the general public.
Welcome. I'm Chase Jordan, Chairman of the Dothan Area Young Professionals. The Dothan Area Young Professionals are honored to have been asked to partner with the Chamber for this Business Hall of Fame event. With the mission to enrich our community by uniting and developing young professionals, the Dothan Area Young Professionals feel that being a part of this event not only enhances our objective, but also gives us the opportunity to provide participation and support in philanthropic activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Chase. This event certainly cannot be performed without the assistance of the Dothan Area Young Professionals, and we are very grateful. And now for the purpose of our evening. Our first laureate is proud that she's a product of Alabama's community college system. She began her college work at Enterprise State Junior College, graduating as valedictorian of her class at Elba High School. She received an Associate's in Arts degree from Enterprise State Junior College, both her bachelor's and her master's degrees from Troy University, and a doctorate from Auburn University. Some of her major accomplishments during her professional career include developing special educational programs for adult women, programs that have been designated as exemplary models by the Strengthening Developing Institutions Program, the National Commission on Working Women, the American Association of Community and Junior Colleges, Far West Laboratories, and the National Center for Research in Vocational Education. These programs have been featured in at least 4 national publications, and presentations describing the programs have been made at 4 national conferences and 1 congressional hearing. She also chaired a legislative committee of the Alabama Coalition of Women and Girls in Education. The committee achieved passage of a bill creating and funding multi-purpose displaced homemaker programs in Alabama's junior, community, and technical colleges. This work was recognized when she was one of 5 women in the state to be recognized by the American Society for Public Administration for outstanding contributions to public administration and public service by assisting other women to advance professionally. Further, under her leadership and in conjunction with the Wallace Community College Foundation, the first ever capital campaign was held. The campaign raised over $4.3 million to offer scholarships to deserving students and enhance instructional programs at the college. While serving as Wallace Community College president, the college has gained national recognition for instructional programs and initiatives. In 2015, the college was identified as a Bellwether Award winner, or Bellwether Award finalist by the Community College Futures Assembly. The awards recognize outstanding and innovative programs that are successfully leading community colleges into the future. In 2016, Wallace was named a top 3 finalist in the Faculty Innovation by the American Association of Community Colleges for its faculty-led ICAN, which stands for Improvement, Constant, and Never-Ending Initiative that increase student completion and success rates. The continuing initiative addresses students' success in academic coursework by targeting transformational change at the classroom level. National validation from the AACC is one of the most prestigious compliments a group of faculty can receive, especially when it is in the area of faculty innovation. She was named a Paul Harris Fellow by the Eufaula Rotary Club in 2001, and also was honored in 2013 by the American Association of Community Colleges for 25 years of service as a community college president. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Linda Young.
Dr. Linda Young may be president of Wallace Community College, but she's still the girl from Elma with Alabama values instilled in her. Linda's word is her bond, her handshake a contract, and her vision, a better life through education. Dr. Young was first a teacher in the state's K-12 program. Before long, though, people had taken notice of her leadership skills. In 1982, she was appointed Dean of Development at Enterprise State Junior College. 3 years later, she was Executive Assistant to Alabama's Community College Chancellor. And 3 years after that, Dean of Academic Affairs at Lurleen B. Wallace Community College in Andalusia. In 1989, Linda was named the first female president of an Alabama technical institution when she was chosen to lead Sparks State Technical College in Eufaula. So when that school merged with Wallace 11 years later, Dr. Young was the perfect fit for president, a natural to lead the combined schools into the new millennium. A graduate of Troy and Auburn universities, Linda knows to lead a school, one must be a leader in the community, and she is. Her expertise has helped the Chamber of Commerce lure jobs. She's a Rotarian, has served on several boards including Flowers Hospital, and was in 2014 honored for 25 years, a quarter of a century, as president of one of the most respected schools in Alabama. Like most Hall of Fame inductees, the list of Linda's accomplishments is far too long to mention them all. So we can just sum it up with one word: leadership. Well, 2 words: leadership and friend. Dr. Young doesn't like being called Dr. Young. She prefers Linda, the girl from Coffee County, whose work ethic and values have over the years never wavered. Welcome, Linda, to the Business Hall of Fame.
Well, first of all, I'm just so excited about Dr. Young's award and glad to be a part of that. I have known Linda Young for about 48 years, so we have that long-standing relationship, and a relationship that I treasure because it represents, I think, so much of who I am and certainly who she is. I first met Linda when I was an instructor, an English instructor at Enterprise State Junior College, and she was in her 2nd year there as a student in my English literature class. And I recognized immediately what an outstanding student she was. She was so goal-oriented. She definitely was an achiever. She planned and studied and prepared to do well with every assignment, and was just such a joy that I remember as a student in my English literature class. And one of the stories that we have enjoyed all of these years has to do with that class. She still scolds me a little bit from time to time about a particular test that she claims that she made a C on that exam. I don't know, I might question that, but at least that's her story. We had all these books to read, and she thought that would just kind of be a breeze to take the test. I think she said it was Lord Jim. But anyway, we've laughed about that over the years. So we go back to that English literature class where it all began. And then I stayed there for a number of years and remained in the Alabama community college system for the remaining years of my educational career. Linda went on to finish her education and then has spent most of her career also in the Alabama community college system. Linda is not only extraordinarily smart, not only extraordinarily dependable and hard-working and goal-oriented but she truly does care about this system and about Wallace Community College and all of its constituencies. With all of her hard work and achievements, she truly does take pride and joy in seeing other people do well. And she's always explaining to me about a particular student's progress or a particular student's award, or maybe it's a faculty member's award or some other staff award, or maybe an award for the entire institution. I know that we have both, and many people, been so excited this year about some national recognition that Wallace Community College has achieved. And as she excitedly informs me about that and we share about that, it's always just the next sentence about all of these people who have done all of these things to make all of this possible. When I think of her, I think of that educational opportunity for everybody. That is a line that recurs in our conversation. And it's not just something that we say, you know, she just is always giving me examples of that. Everybody counts, everybody matters, everybody has something to contribute. Those are the repetitious statements that she makes that get to the core, I think, of who she is. She realizes that she's been a very blessed person, and she likes to see other people have those types of opportunities. I count myself extremely blessed to have been able to know and to appreciate Linda Young, Dr. Linda Young, my former student and longtime friend. It's such a joy of my life. I've just been so blessed, and to be a part of this recognition is just such a tremendous satisfaction and joy from her former teacher and longtime friend.
Well, I almost feel like I just sat through my own memorial service. Thank you for those kind words. To say that I'm honored and deeply humbled to receive this award, to be named a Dothan Business Hall of Fame laureate, is certainly an understatement. And I really appreciate the Dothan Chamber and the Dothan Area Young Professionals for recognizing me with this honor. But I want to say up front, this honor really belongs to the faculty and staff and administrators at Wallace Community College. They're the ones who have done so much that you heard about on the tape. They work as a team. They believe in what we do as a community college, and they work for the success of students. And that's what makes it so gratifying to be a part of Wallace Community College. You know, they say as a leader that if you do what's right, you surround yourself with people who are smarter than you are. And I've done exceptionally well at that, that's for sure. We do have some of our student leaders here today. That's what we're all about at Wallace Community College. Students, we're so proud of them and the leadership skills that they're developing. And I appreciate all those kind words, Dr. Mixon. She has meant so much to me, certainly as my teacher a long time ago. But also she has been my mentor, my colleague, and most importantly, my friend. She has had a broad and lasting impact on my career, and I value her so very much. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "What we have learned from others becomes our own reflection." And I'm a better educator and I'm a better person because of Dr. Imogene Mixon's reflection. And then there's Charles Coggins, who is here. And those of you who've lived in Dothan for a long time know that when he lived here, nothing happened that he didn't play a role in it, especially in economic development. And he was invaluable to me as the leader of a community college because he knew the importance of a community college and how it connects to business and industry. And when we merged Sparks State Technical College with Wallace Community College in 1999, he was invaluable in helping me make those connections and build those relationships that are so important to a community college, to the area that it serves. And he also chaired our foundation board, and he and other foundation board members led that very successful capital campaign. So thank you, Charles, for all you've done for Wallace Community College. And I want to recognize my longtime friend, Mr. Jimmy Baker, who is here. Jimmy has just been named acting chancellor of the Alabama Community College system, and his wife Joy is with him. Some of you may know him. He's from Coffee County, grew up in New Brockton. He's had a long career in education, government, and business, and I certainly rely on his vast knowledge and his counsel, and thank you for being here. My niece and her husband are here from Enterprise, Cindy and Alan Cobb. I do have one brother, but his health prevented his being here tonight. I see some longtime friends, my table over there of our sisterhood that I appreciate and value our relationships. So thank you all for being here. And I want to ask you, how would you feel if you were up here trying to deliver comments when you have your college English instructor sitting out there and your longtime friend John Riley, who speaks worldwide? How would you feel if you were up here trying to speak with those two sitting there? But I sort of feel like the speaker who was an expert on floods, and he was delivering an address on how to survive a flood. And he looked out there and there was Noah sitting in the audience. So I hope I can live up to their expectations. I spent a good deal of time trying to think about what I might share with you, and I'm just going to speak from the heart. A little bit about my background. I grew up in Elba on a farm. My mother was an excellent seamstress, and she went to work in a sewing factory when I started school. Now let me say, I inherited none of her sewing expertise whatsoever. My dad was a farmer and a mechanic. I could not have had better parents. I was a first-generation college student, and they wanted me to have an education, the opportunity for an education that they never had. And they taught me the value of an education and the value of hard work. My daddy was an avid reader, and I remember that he read to me almost every night. That's some of my earliest memories. And when he would close the book, I would say, "Daddy, Daddy, read me Howdy Doody again." And I think that's what helped me to have a love of reading. And I also remember standing next to my mother when she was sewing, and I pretended she was my student. I had a little chalkboard, and I taught her. So I think early on I knew I wanted to be an educator. I was lucky enough to get an academic scholarship to Enterprise State Junior College at the time. And those were the days that community colleges ran buses. And I rode the bus from Elba to Enterprise and back each day. But I didn't mind riding the bus because most of the basketball players lived west of Enterprise also. So I enjoyed those bus rides. But that's where I fell in love with what community colleges are all about when I was a student at Enterprise. As a student, I was made to feel important. I knew my instructors, like Dr. Mixon, and they knew me. And it was really a very important time of my life. I feel like I've grown up in the two-year colleges. And I think it was there during my days as a student that I knew I wanted to spend my career in community colleges. And I'm very grateful to have had that opportunity. I really don't want to be at any other level of education. I feel like I belong with community colleges, and I feel like my days as a student set up a great foundation for what I'm doing now. After I completed my master's degree and taught in K-12 a couple of years, I returned to Enterprise State as a business instructor and director of a cooperative education program. And when I began work there, something clicked. I knew, I understood that these students were working on a chance to have a great future. And that future would be an important prescription for the future of the state of Alabama. I've had the good fortune to work at 5 two-year colleges in Southeast Alabama. Somebody asked me one time if I had a motor home that I just drove around the wiregrass. And I've lived in 6 counties in Southeast Alabama. Some people say I've been run out of 5. But I'm so glad that I wound up in Houston County and that I live in Dothan. I view community colleges as the dream catchers of society. And when I use that term, I'm referring to the Native American legend where bits of feathers and netting were put together, fashioned together, and hung over the beds of sleeping children. And when the dreams came through that dream catcher, it caught the bad dreams, and the good dreams drifted on over those sleeping children and became a part of the vision and the destiny of those children. I am so proud that Wallace Community College has done that, has helped shape the future and the vision and the destiny of so many people in Southeast Alabama. It's so rewarding to see what happens to our students, whether they complete an associate degree and then transfer to university, get a bachelor's degree or go beyond, or whether they complete a 2-year degree in a technical program or a health program and go directly to work, or whether they are a senior citizen that might be just learning how to play the piano. All those students provide great satisfaction to those of us at Wallace Community College. I guess you might say that some forms of education take great pride in selectivity of students, but community colleges take even greater pride in their philosophy of helping people, no matter what the starting point might be, to go as far as their dreams and their motivations and their capabilities can take them. The community college philosophy centers around the belief that individuals have the right and the responsibility to fulfill their talents as they best can, to the fullest, in other words. We serve students, you might say, from the cradle to the grave. We have students fresh out of high school. We have students at Wallace who are in high school. They're taking dual enrollment courses, earning college credit while they're in high school. A Wallace student may be an adult who has raised a family and returned to college, or began college, or has served in the military. Or a Wallace student might be one who has really found out what they don't want to do in life, and they want to do something else. But that's what community colleges are all about. We create success for people like these students, with hope, with opportunities, and jobs. And those are the days we feel so fortunate, not only to be blessed for what we've been given, to be blessed in helping people reach their potential in their lives. That's what is so rewarding at a community college. Graduation's always an important part and an event that we cherish. We have commencement ceremonies for both campuses. And when those students walk across the stage, all the frustrations that I've dealt with the past year and the other administrators and faculty and staff at the college, all those frustrations melt away. And we leave that ceremony on a tremendous high because we know that we have added value to students' lives and that we have helped them succeed. And that is very rewarding. We have 2 foundation boards, one for the Sparks campus in Eufaula and one for the campus in Dothan. There are 30 people on these 2 boards who give their time, their resources, and very importantly, their advocacy in helping raise money for scholarships to help students who need financial help, deserving students. Several of them are here tonight, and I'm going to take a minute and ask them to stand, and please join me in showing our appreciation for what they do for Wallace Community College. You know, the word community is in our middle name. And in large measure, the value and accountability of Wallace Community College is determined by how well we position ourselves at the forefront of community, economic, and workforce development initiatives. Training a workforce for business and industry is very, very important, an important part of our mission as a community college. I certainly feel honored to have served community colleges during my career, a period of time where community colleges saw dynamic growth and experienced a lot of achievement. So it's been very rewarding to have that opportunity and to receive those rewards that I think few positions could offer. There's a Greek proverb that says, "A society grows great when we plant trees under whose shade we never expect to sit." We all know that receiving higher education provides more opportunities for a person really than anything else in life. I am so proud to be a part of Wallace Community College and its faculty and staff for our role that we play in transforming the lives of others. And I want to tell you again how much I appreciate this honor. Thank you.
Well deserved. Our next laureate grew up in the Pike County community of Good Hope It was on his family farm that he developed a strong faith, a tireless work ethic, and a love for fishing. He attended Goshen High School and went to Chipola Junior College on an athletic scholarship playing basketball and baseball. He was recruited to play baseball in the Baltimore Orioles organization, where he played until a shoulder injury ended his career. While at Chipola, he met and married the love of his life, Sarah Jo Anderson, and they were married in 1956. His business career began with the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. In 1966, he and Joe bought a small Phillips 66 jobber ship in Ashford, Alabama, where they started with 3 employees. They immersed themselves in their community, becoming active in church, civic organizations, and schools. They worked hard, and soon their efforts began to pay off. In 1970, they acquired a Pure Oil distributorship. Pure Oil was acquired by Union Oil, and Home Oil became the first Union 76 jobber. In 1980, Home Oil diversified into the convenience store business and opened its first hobo pantry. Expansion continued with acquisitions in Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. Today, Home Oil operates 25 hobo pantry and employs over 200 people, has 3 wholesale bulk plants, and supplies numerous dealers and consumer accounts, plus operating a fleet of transport trucks, and annual sales are over $100 million. The Shirley family is preparing the 3rd generation to continue Home Oil's growth even further. Always active in his community, he was instrumental in establishing Ashford Academy and building the Ashford Senior Citizen Center. He helped create the Alabama Motor Fuel Fair Market Act of 1975. He is a past board of director and lifetime member of the Dothan Area Chamber of Commerce, a member of the Ashford Chamber of Commerce, a board of director of Farmers and Merchants Bank, a member of Ashford Lions Club and Dothan Rotary Club, and the Alabama Oilmen's Association and National Oil Jobbers Council. He was selected Oilman of the Year by the State Association in 1979 and is a Petroleum and Convenience Marketers of Alabama Hall of Fame inductee. In 1990, he began the annual Home Oil Charity Golf Classic that has raised millions of dollars for Wiregrass area charities. In 2006, Home Oil was a founding sponsor and remains a sponsor today of the City of Dothan's Downtown Hoops Classic that will celebrate its 10th year in 2016 and has put back over $350,000 in local schools. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Thomas Allen, Tom Sherman.
Next time you pull into a hobo pantry convenience store and fill her up, think of Tom Shirley. Because in life and in business, Tom's tank has always been full. Tom was born in the small Pike County Crossroads community of Good Hope. 2 words synonymous with his life: good in business, and hope that somewhere along the way his contributions made a difference. And boy, did they. After working in the tire business, Tom bought his first service station. Remember those places where they'd wash your windows and check your oil? And from there, Hobo Pantry was born. From one location in Ashford with 3 employees to 25 locations today and more than 200 employees. With related business interest, company sales now exceed $100 million. In 2014, Tom opened the largest compressed fueling station in Dothan. Yes, Tom is great in business, but he's better in family. His marriage to Sarah Jo has yielded 3 children, 12 grandchildren, and 8 great-grandchildren. The 3rd generation of Shirley's now being groomed to take over the family business. Tom was, in 1979, selected Oil Man of the Year by the State Association. 10 years later, he would defeat prostate cancer. Tom is a Chamber of Commerce member, Lion, Rotarian, and devout Christian who is proud to be a member of Watermark Church. He's a founding member and decades-long supporter of the Dothan Hoops Classic. No wonder. Tom loves sports. We hear he plays a mean game of dominoes Oh, did you know Tom was drafted by the Baltimore Orioles? A shoulder injury shortening his professional baseball career. But in the game of life, Tom has hit a home run. So next time you see a hobo pantry sign, look past the gas pumps. Think of the man behind the name, Tom Shirley, a 2016 inductee into the Business Hall of Fame.
I'm here to talk about a couple of people. Number one, my best friend, and number two, my daddy. And I could be here all day, but for the lack of time, I just would like to say a few things about my father that probably a lot of people don't know. Early on in my life, and in watching my father work and my mother work as a tandem, there was 5 children initially, and they were growing up. My father worked with Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, so he was gone a lot, so Mama was left to raise the kids. But Daddy always, when he came home, made great time. And that's probably the biggest impression he gave me growing up, was he created a level of patience in all of us, in our family, and stability. And that's what's allowed us to make some really good decisions long term to help our family, to help our relationship with God, and also to help our customers and our friends. Daddy's just been, he's constantly, I know for my first 12 years of my life, I can't remember missing going to church. And so he instilled early in all of us a great love of faith in God, and that's carried us through life. He's educated us well. Like I said, he's been my best friend, and I've mentored myself. Everything I've done in the last 40 years, I've done because of things that I've learned from him. He's a very educated person. He's a very hands-on person. He believes strongly in God, he believes strongly in family, and he believes strongly in his customers and our employees here at the company. And that's one reason that we're 50 years into this year. Some great stories that I remember, probably I was 12 years old. We were going fishing at St. John's River, and we took a boat down there, and me and Daddy were on the boat, and my Uncle Lowell, and we backed it down in the water at St. John's River, and it wouldn't crank. And Daddy's always been really independent. He didn't like to ask for help, so he got the toolbox out, and he got back there and took that motor apart. And we were probably at the landing for probably 2.5 hours, and he had that motor torn all to pieces back there. And he was getting frustrated. And my Uncle Lowell finally got back there with him. And the sad thing was, after he took the motor apart, he realized that the gas tank was sitting on the gas line. So it took another hour to put the motor back together, and we put the motor back together and fired it up, and we went fishing. And Daddy, I've heard him tell that story many a time, but that taught us all a great lesson, that sometimes we look to the forest and we can't see it for the trees in front of us, and that was a fine example of that situation. But Daddy has another good story that I had several years. I was a junior in high school playing football, and about mid-season I was a place kicker, and I had a good start to the year, the first 5 or 6 games, but about the 7th, 8th, and 9th game, I just lost my touch. I just couldn't make a field goal, couldn't make an extra point. And Daddy called me in one morning and sat me down, and he said, "Son," he said, "I think I know what your problem is." And I said, "What's that, Pop?" And he said, "You've been seeing too much of that girl." He said, "Now you're going to have to make a decision on what you want to do." And lo and behold, I went out that next Friday night after that discussion, and I think I set a record. We kicked 6 field goals that night. I don't believe it was 1 inch off a center either way. And from that point on, I went on and did real well and had a good, successful season after that. So he's been my mentor growing up. He's been my best friend. I love him dearly, and it's hard to sit here and tell. I could be here all night long telling the stuff that he has taught me over the years and taught our family. He has made our family strong, him and my late mother, and I just love him to death.
My goodness alive. Ain't this something else? Who would have thought 50 years ago we would be here tonight? Friends, family, peers, partners, thank you. Thank you so much. My late wife, Sarah Jo, and myself and 4 children came to this community of Ashford in 1966 to raise a family and to start a business that we had purchased from an old person in Ashford. The Lord has been good to us, and I thank you for this reception and recognition. I am indeed humbled by it. But I'll tell you, I have been real lucky. I've got the greatest team helping me. First, my mother and my father, my late wife and partner, my faith in God and His church, my children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and my employees, both past and present, and of course to our customers. With a team like this surrounding you, it's great. Once again, thank you all for this special appreciation and for this recognition. Oh, I forgot one thing. On your way home or sometime this week, stop at a hobo pantry and buy something. And may God bless you, and thank you all so much.
I'd like to congratulate again both our laureates this evening, and not only for participating in our program, but letting their lives become part of our lives. And before we adjourn, I'd ask the families of the inductees to please remain seated for some pictures afterwards. And also, if you will look at your program on the back side, one of them will have a red dot, and the red dot takes home the flowers. So please take those with you. Again, thank you everyone for being here this evening, and I hope you all have a good evening.